Ramantu Drakesblood, one of the most sought after champions in this entire game, unfortunately locked behind some of the most frustrating content that there is. So today I'm going to go over a few tips to hopefully help you get this guy and make Tag Team Arena a little bit less painful while we're at it. Roll the promo, let's go. If you're looking for a fresh start in Raid, or maybe just want to try the free-to-play life, I've got a new player promo link. It's waiting for you in the pinned comment and description of this video, getting you off to a solid head start with a legendary and 3 free epics as you level up your account. Here's what you need to do. You need to log out of Plarium and Play on your PC and uninstall the game, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email address, launch Raid, complete your tutorial, go to your inbox and claim your first free champion. This is a good one, guys. Let's get into it. Right, first things first, one-man defense teams are going to be your friend and they are going to be the key to getting this done. And if you want to see one-man defense teams, you're going to have to use one-man defense teams yourself. It's just how the matchmaking algorithm of Tag Team Arena works. So you're going to have to kind of exploit it so that you can use it in your favor. The best time to actually do this is on Monday morning, just after the arena reset. Loads of people will have just placed in whatever tier they are going to be in, and naturally you're just going to come up against one-man defense teams just a lot more often. Now, the next thing I recommend everyone do is set an alarm on your phone to go off every 15 minutes. That way you can click up here and refresh for free without spending any gems whatsoever, and this way you're just giving yourself the best chance of coming up against these solo teams. And now, here is where timing really matters. You're going to want to essentially take on as many of these one-man teams as you can until you push up into what I deem to be the sweet spot. And it's kind of just shy of when this bar goes into the green. Obviously, yellow means you're going to stay in the tier. Green means you're going to push up a tier. So you want to do as many battles as you can that just get you just shy of that green marker. So once you've done this, you are going to want to resume refreshing. And the perfect scenario you can find yourself in is a little bit like the one I've got here, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams. Now, 6 team battles is enough to push you from this cusp here right over into the green. And at that point, this is when it gets really important. At that point, you're going to want to go to your defenses and you're going to actually want to set a very strong set of defense teams. This way, less people are going to attack you and you're going to stop sort of tanking down the tier whilst you're refreshing, waiting for better teams. And just remember, guys, you actually only need to do 10 battles per week in order to be eligible to move up a tier. So if you get yourself into that sweet spot and ideally into the green, then call it quits for the week. Set your defense teams and just wait. This is where a little bit of luck and hope comes into play. You've just kind of got to hope that your teams are strong enough that someone looks at it and goes, can't be bothered with that. And then you can just sort of ride out the rest of the week in that little kind of sweet spot where you're at. And hopefully you won't actually need to do any more Tag Team Arena throughout the entire week. If you've done all of the steps so far and you are finding that you get attacked a little bit and you keep dropping out of that green, just sort of beyond that sweet spot back into the yellow, then at this point I would recommend you might actually have to do some battles. Now, if you're looking at a screen of just 12-man teams and thinking, I actually don't know how I'm going to do this, then the first bit of advice I would give you is to say that if you don't think that you can beat a team, don't try and beat the team. You get to refresh every 15 minutes. If you keep doing it often enough, eventually a team will come along that you can beat. And a huge tip that I can give you here is to not always look at total power underneath the teams, because mythicals essentially have double power because they're 2 champions in one. High resistance can lead to champions having like nearly 200k player power. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. What does make a difference, however, is to go over here to where you can see the icons for each player. And what you're going to want to do is actually click on each one and make a note of their total power. Now, this guy has 25.77 player power. That is probably very similar to mine, so I can just assume that this guy is going to have quite a strong account. What I will do is I will keep going down. 27 million, that's probably no good. 25, that's probably a bit tricky. 12.17, here you go. Here is someone that I would recommend that you actually try and attack. So you just kind of want to repeat this so that you can maintain staying in this little area here so that you can just push. Now, timing is absolutely everything with this. As the week goes on, people are going to take out their one-man defense teams, and they're obviously going to fill this up, because never forget, most of the people in Silver 4 trying to get into Gold 1 are in exactly the same position you are. They don't want to drop down even 1 point, so everyone's always going to be putting their best foot forward. So this is why Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday is kind of your window of opportunity to actually get this done. Now, if you find that you keep getting attacked, then unfortunately, this is going to be more of a team issue than it is anything else. This is where learning to build a good defense team kind of becomes very, very, very important. With the way I've got mine set up, now I'm not saying these are the best defense teams that you can do, because ultimately they're not. My middle team is actually a speed team. That's something I would recommend that you don't run. The only reason I run it is because my R-base is incredibly fast. But what you want to do is kind of recall in your own brain all of the champions that you absolutely hate fighting in Arena. Think like your Armands, your Empress, your Fabian, Gizmak, Calvalax, just anything that you've got which is annoying to go up against. That's what you want to fill your defense teams with. It's not about who's the best DPS or who goes fastest. What you want are strong and annoying champions. Think like Ultimate Death Knight, think anything tanky, you know, Sifis and your Duchess, just things that are a complete pain to kill. Defense and HP champions are very, very strong for this role. All you're actually trying to do, and this is like the psychology of getting Ramantu, is you want to make sure that when another player comes up against your set of teams, they look at it and go, I really cannot be bothered with that. That mindset is kind of going to be your friend for getting Ramantu, because if you keep getting attacked, then unfortunately it is a defense team problem, and you might want to go back to the drawing board and slightly just rethink how you're building your teams. And something that we definitely have to consider, if you are early or mid game and you're really kind of breaking your back trying to get Ramantu, thinking that once you get him, you know, your account is going to change for the better, then you're going to kind of need to manage your expectations, because whilst Ramantu is an absolutely incredible champion, like he is top tier, he's incredibly niche, he's incredibly end game, and if you want him to perform well, he's going to be really, really intensive in terms of how you need to build him. You're going to be at least 300 speed, probably about 700 accuracy. You're going to want probably like 60 or 70k HP, around about 4k defense. You might want to factor in a ton of resistance. Then you've got crit rate, crit damage. This is not an easy champion to build. This is an end game champion. He's not actually going to change your account for the better if you don't have the means to actually build him to be what he needs to be. Remember, it's not always about the champ, it's actually about the gear that you can put on them. Tag Team Arena, it might be old content, but it's damn hard content. It's still incredibly hard. It's been in the game forever, but with the way people's rosters are now, and now that we have things like mythicals, blessings, relics, all of that good stuff, Tag Team Arena is far from easy, and unfortunately a lot of getting Ramantu just comes down to being lucky each week. So I am sorry that this is not a definitive guide. This is actually just what worked for me over the course of, man, it took me years to get Ramantu. I actually got Marius before I got Ramantu, and I've been playing this game for damn near 6 years. This is not an easy champion to get, like even one bit. So you are just going to have to kind of bite the bullet and go, okay, I didn't get it this week. The one thing you cannot do is start risking battles that you don't think that you can win, because all your progress that you made on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is just going to fall down, and you're just going to tank your way down the bracket of the tier. It's soul destroying. It makes you not want to do it next time. And ultimately, it makes you realize that a lot of things in this game when it comes to PvP are actually just a little bit unfair. And before I go, I actually have one bonus tip, and this is something that I have seen work. I considered doing it myself, but this is actually quite a fun idea. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on your own player profile up here, and you are going to want to find your name and click this little button next to it and pay 20 gems. Where are you at here? 20 gems for a name change. And you could actually consider changing your name to something like Gold 4 please, or Please Don't Attack, or Ramantu Mission. You never know. You might actually pull on the heartstrings of someone that's been in exactly the same position that you're in now, knowing just how much of a pain it is to actually push for this champion, or it might actually completely backfire and the griefers are going to come out in full force and just do everything they can to knock you down the tier. It's a luck thing, guys, so I wish you luck in your quest for Ramantu. Like I say, there's no definitive guide to getting this done. Good luck. See you next time.